difficult trek for him to make it to the studio. So we appreciate you swinging by. The sweatshirt is fire. But do you want to let everyone know how you almost did not make it to the studio today?
There were geese stopping my appearance. My entrance. So yeah, crazy. Bro said the geese were cutting off the street and set them back like 10 minutes.
There's anarchy
Just
in
to
Vegas.
remind everybody, we're in Vegas.
But you can't I don't understand. You can't honk. Like,
Yeah,
if you're
No, the geese are honking.
The guy.
Well, I know, but you can't just slow play them and like crawl into them. They're not going to fly away.
don't run over
The
them.
guy was
Stay there?
waiting. So because I called the Uber that was about to pick him up, and it basically said he was there. And then I'm like, "What's going on?" Because now it says you're 8 minutes away, and he's like, "It's not just me. We're standing there. We thought they're gonna move. Like they're probably there honking and trying to get shit."
No, but if you just slow, they're not going to get run over.
It's just another way that Joey Votto's in your head.
Yeah.
The Canadian geese. The Canadian geese are in there. He's in there. He's like, I'm gone. I know I dominated you in chess all year. But I'm still here. Yeah. I'm sending geese to Vegas to get in your way of getting on the show.
That's something Joey would do.
All right, give us the Joey lowdown then. So start with the impact that he made for you. We were talking to Tyler Stevenson yesterday. He's like, ask Will, of course, about the chess, but also about conversations that you guys had. And I mean, damn, you look down at your on-base percentage, just the year you had in general, right? And also after the first maybe like month or so, how much everything kicked up. Was Joey a part of that?
100%. When I got called back up, like after a month, I'll just go a quick story. This is my favorite story to tell.
Yeah, go for it.
We were on a flight headed to Boston. And I sat there and I just got back up from AAA. I hit 2 doubles, like hardest balls I've actually ever hit in my career. They're both 114. And we're sitting on the plane, and Joey's like, "Hey man, like show me your best swing." So I showed him those, and he goes, "That's not gonna work." And I said, "What do you mean, Joey? These are 114 doubles. Like what else do you want me to do? Like what else am I supposed to be doing?" And he goes, "Look at your path. The path that you have created on these balls that are down and away, you shouldn't be pulling them down the foul line. Like these balls are supposed to be going center field, left center." And so the more we kind of dove into it, he really just broke down my work like before the game. He's honest. He was on, and I told him to be honest with me. He said, "Hey, like your pregame work is garbage. Like it's not good." And I said, "Okay." And I'm very I love to learn. And I'm just soaking it all up because I know who he was. I watched him play. And the fact that he took the time on a flight. It's funny, I actually took Steve-O's seat because me and Joey were playing chess on that flight to Boston, and took Steve-O's seat. And then we just kind of stopped playing and started talking about that. And long story short, again, like we just started diving in on path, the precision of your early work, which sets you up for the game. And really just having him in Boston at that point in time, like really watching my work, critiquing it, honestly seeking perfection out of me, which made me want to be perfect myself. That's kind of where that relationship grew, and I'm very grateful because, like you said, my whole year turned around when I got back, and a lot of it started with that conversation.
And he was hurt.
He was hurt. Yeah.
But, like, that's the part that you didn't like. He was hurt during that time.
Yeah.
So we talk about it all the time on this show. Yes, I get it. You can't have every rehab guy, and not every rehab guy actually makes a difference. Yeah. But if he's not there,
I don't do that. Yeah, I don't have.
You don't do that because you were feeling yourself. You were like,
yeah.
You probably watched it a couple times on your laptop.
Yeah,
you're like,
for sure,
for
sure.
Oh yeah, 114. Oh, 114. Hey, did you guys see this?
Yeah, for sure.
114. Like, and you were feeling yourself.
Feeling myself.
And I think that is
amazing.
Such a great reason why you need guys like that in the game. Look, we even got a video. You can watch yourself hitting dingers on our screen there.
Oh my God, that's one of my favorite swings of the year. Yeah, off the moon, yes.
And that's like exactly what you're talking about.
And that's left center.
That's left center.
Yeah, it's left center.
That's awesome.
Slider left center?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Had anybody ever talked to you like that in the sense of like you're a first rounder? We were in spring training together for like a minute. Yeah. I didn't even know if you'd remember me, but you said you remembered.
Yes.
Like, so first rounders have this like, you're the best in high school. You're the best in low A. You're the best in high A. Yeah. Had anybody ever talked to you like that? Like Joey talked to you? That you respected?
No, respect like that? No. And I think that's probably the biggest thing. I told you I like to learn. So at one point I was listening to everyone and trying to do everything, because I didn't start off that great. And so when I am given information from anyone, I try to receive and accept it. But as I've grown older, grown wiser.
Oh, with your beard, you're so old.
Right?
I think
it changes everything.
Is there any
A
gray
wise
in there?
25.
No,
25.
Yeah,
But I've
an
learned.
old 25.
But I've just learned, like you said, it also is who you're talking to, and then and how you perceive the information and how you receive the information and apply it in your own way. So I went from, kind of listening to everyone early on to growing into someone who I listen, but I kind of can weed out what I really need to take from what I'm hearing, and really benefit myself. So it was honestly a perfect timing, because when I had made opening day roster, like thank God I made this roster, and I struggled bad. I looked awful, and I did the same thing where I started listening to everything that was thrown my way, and I didn't learn from my previous mistakes, and so finally, again, I get to AAA, and I'm doing better. I'm playing my game. I'm getting on base at an alarming rate, and a lot of it too is just straight up me raw ability. It had nothing to do with put your arm, any mechanic, none of that stuff. And so when I actually spoke with Votto, I took it from that angle. I said, look, in the back of my mind, I'm like looking at him, but in the back of my mind, I'm looking at him saying, I'm going to hear what he's going to say, because this is one of the greatest left-handed hitters that have played, right? I'm going to sit here. I'm going to listen to what he says, and I'm going to try to connect dots. I'm not going to take everything that he says for verbatim. I'm going to connect those dots. And the funny thing is, a lot of what he was saying, weirdly enough, was the same thing, but it was delivered better. It was delivered in an applicable way. You get what I'm saying? And when it wasn't complicated, I think that's another thing that got me. Funny, this is the analogy he gave me. He goes, and this is the swing we're looking at. He goes, look at your path, right? So my path on this ball down the way was like this. It was just like that. And he said, look, Will. And he pulled up one of his. He's so funny. He's like, I don't want to brag about myself, but I said, Joey, it's okay, dude. Like, I get it. I get
Maestro
it, bro.
hit it. Okay.
You get it, bro. I get you, bro. And he had hit this one. It was off a lefty too. Lord bless him. He was a down and away fastball, and he goes, look at my path, and it was like that. And I said, Joey, wait a minute, because now I'm contesting him, because again, I want to really know and learn. I'm not going to just sit here and take what he says. I said, Joey, that looks like an uppercut swing. He says, no, Will. You're going to learn. You're going to do this path, but hit a ground ball to the shortstop. And so then it was so contradicting, but then it made sense, because at the end of the day, like, I have more room in the zone going this way, not this way. If a ball moves down this way or anywhere, and then with this path, I miss it. If it's perfect, I'll clip it. But here, I have more room in the zone. Like, my bat's in the zone for a much longer time. These angles, it just gives me room for error. And I didn't understand that until I had that conversation with him.
Now, doesn't this go back to kind of what you're talking about? People, I think one of the biggest things that people don't understand is once you make the minor leagues, you can even go to like high school, and everyone's throwing stuff at you, right? Like, oh, try that, because they want you. They're like, oh, we see you're going to be a first rounder. I want people to know I helped them along the way, right? So you have a million people throwing stuff at you, and of course, being a good kid, being a good person, you're like, I'm going to listen to Eric, and I'm going to listen to Scott, and I'm going to listen to Will, and I'm going to listen to AJ, and I'm going to try and take all this stuff in and try every little thing they tell me, right? And then at the end of the day, though, it's your career.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, you appreciate all the people that have said something to you. But at the end of the day, and I've told people this a million times, you have to take ownage of yourself and your career. And there might be a time where you look at a guy, and he might be a coach, and say, look, that's not going to work for me. I need you to explain a different way.
Yeah.
And if they can, they'll probably help you.
For sure. No, I agree.
But you don't do it like disparagingly and be like, oh, you're an idiot. I don't want to talk to you, right? You're like, okay, I appreciate it. Now, how can I apply that? And if sometimes it doesn't work, and you're nice about it, and you're like, okay, well, that's not going to work. I'm just going to, I tried it. Okay, ignore it, right? But the way Joey, it sounds like, did it, made it personal to you and made you understand. And that's the difference between like a coach and a really good coach, is they can find a way to make it personal to you. And then what you were saying about the path, yeah, of course, anyone everyone, all the new stuff they're teaching now,
Yeah.
like with the way they're teaching and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense. But to have someone like Joey sit down with you, I mean, that's like
it's
the greatest.
It was a blessing. It was the blessing that I needed. And just to kind of go off what you're saying too, I think what happens early on, I hope y'all can attest to this. What happens early on, I feel like too, is you want to earn a job. You want to earn respect. And two, I was always, I mean, my dad always told me, hey, be coachable. Like he told me that a lot. And I thought a lot of that had to do with like, not necessarily do as you're told, but like, hey, like these people know what they're talking about. And there's no offense, like they might do, but you just have to understand. In a way, I wish I was a little bit more like
less coachable.
Yeah, like bro, I'm a first rounder for a reason, dog. Like
that's kind of what I'm saying. Like take ownership and be like,
bro,
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Exactly. I could beat you without any mechanical adjustments or anything like that. And so that's like the biggest thing I could probably tell a young player coming up. Like it's okay to really look at coach or even not even if you want to play the smooth role, like just look at him and nod and just go on about. Because a lot of it too is like, hey, if you have a good swing or if you have like a good week, they're like clapping, dog, and you could be doing the exact same thing without even.
And they'll be like, I taught him that.
Yeah, and
totally.
So,
and you're like, I'm not even listening to what I didn't even listen to what he said.
See, that's a fair one. You see the difference.
You have the AirPod in your left ear, and he's talking your right. And you're listening to music. You're like,
for sure.
Has no idea. You go out and have a good week, and they're like, I fixed them.
I think one of my favorite. I have three. Actually, I'll describe to, in my opinion, a good like hitting coach or a good coach in general. I think in reality, they are very personable. They can relate to you, and they're not gimmicky with the stuff they're telling you. You know what I mean? And that's when I say gimmicky, it's not like something you just see on Instagram roll. Like, it's a little bit more real. It's more personable, and it's not about in a coach's sense. It's not about me and me taking the title, taking the ownership of you doing you. It's like, hey, I'm here to work with you to make sure that you feel and you know that you're the best player out there. And I've had really good experience with the Reds with that. My guy back home, Randolph Gasaway, I just love that man to death because this is my AAA year trying to make the big leagues. And I go to him, I say, hey man, like I had an okay year, but I need to change up. I need to do something to make it. He told me, no, Will, like you're right where you need to be. Just keep building on what you're doing. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just make your wheels run crisper. And I needed to hear that. So.
Okay. 2022?
Yeah, 2022.
You had a really good year.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But you can't. That's awesome. I mean, I hope so many people listen to this to hear what you have to say because you are the guy that everybody wants to aspire to be when they're amateurs. Mm. And then you went through struggles.
Yeah.
And you found people and you found your own answers. Mm. And now look at you.
Yeah.
You're top
of the game.
In my opinion, you're like a top 50, top 60 player right now with the season you just had.
Yeah.
And how do you grow from that?
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, weirdly enough, like I'm a spiritual person, and I prayed for that opportunity, especially when I knew I came in right away and I didn't have immediate success. And so like in my mind, I'm praying. I'm like, man, like, I didn't really expect this. I wanted to do extremely well coming out the gate and I didn't. So I was like, let my story be a testament, to perseverance and what you can do when you keep your foot on the gas pedal. Not only work hard, but you work smart. You got to work smart, especially in this game. And what you can really make of it and what you can do for yourself, what you can do for your family, if you just stay persistent and you really love what you do. So thankfully it's worked out.
Dude, it's awesome. I wish we had so much more time. That's awesome. I'm blaming the geese.
And Joey. Don't forget
Joey.
It's
Joey's if Joey has a flock of geese that he owns because he made some cash and
he let them loose.
He let them loose, and he was sitting in like the 50th floor looking over like, Will's Uber is not going to make it. This is the best,
dude. Thanks for swinging by.
Yeah, for sure.
We got to have more talks in the future,
Yeah,
but keep doing your thing. Appreciate you.
Yeah, Scott. Thank you. I appreciate y'all for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.